Lord Dalhousie, the main Governor-General of India, worked toward implementation of Wood Dispatch, which brought many schools in this time. The Indian Education Commission 1882 focused mainly on the improvement of primary education as very few students could make beyond that level. The Kolkata University Commission, popularly called as Sadler Commission 1917, also basically focused on improvement secondary education and suggested for diversified curriculum along with establishment of board of secondary intermediate education, but it also took teacher education into consideration, and as a result education was incorporated as a subject at postgraduate level. Sargent report. The Central Advisory Board of Education CABE presented by post-war educational development scheme in India. It also suggests for starting refreshers courses and research program for teacher in order to make it more efficient. It also suggests 2-year training courses for pre-primary and junior basic schools. 1-year program for graduate students. Grant Medieval College 1844. University of Bombay. Teacher Education Overview in Independent India. After independence of India, University Education Commission 1948 to 1949. This commission was a pioneer in the new independent India. It examined It examines the prevailing teacher training courses critically and made a suggestion to make a course more flexible, and it should be designed such as that theory and practice should support each other. In this program, the theory and practice should support each other. It recommended these suitable schools should be attached with training colleges and more emphasis to imparting practical teaching. This commission was given credit for replacing teacher training with teacher education. Secondary Education Commission 1952 to 53. Secondary Education Commission SEC, whose chairman was Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, he laid down many recommendations for the sole purpose to strengthen the education system of India. It emphasized on raising the status of teachers by providing them with triple benefit scheme that could provide pension, cum provident, cum insurance. This commission emphasized the education restructuring. Professional training of teacher is very important for the betterment of schools and community. Education Commission or Courtry Commission 1964 to 1966. This commission was observed that for bringing quality of education, there is a need for sound professional program for teachers. It suggests that teacher training institute should not be separate from universities and schools. Rather, it should well integrated with them. This commission highlight flaw in education system that prevailing at that time and also remedial measures. National Policy of Education (NPE) was adopted by Lok Sabha on May 8, 1986. This policy brought a remarkable improvement in the field of that teacher training curriculum should be designed as per need of school. This is the evolution of national education policy of India from 1968 to 1986 to 1992 then 2005, then 2016, and 2019. Analysis of National Education Policy 2020 with respect to teacher education. This policy acknowledges that quality of teacher education, its recruitment process recognition at and not par with the design goals. Weak points. There is need of restoring the status of teachers by empowering them so that the best of students aspire to take up teaching as a profession. It talks about strengthening the teacher eligibility test both in terms of content and pedagogy. Teacher will be given opportunities for continued self-improvement by providing them updated knowledge of innovative practices. Each teacher must be expected participate at least 50 hours of continued professional development CPD every year of professional improvement. NEP 2020 aims at moving teacher education at multidisciplinary colleges and universities by 2030, as there would be quality demand in content and pedagogy. By 2030, the minimum qualification of teacher education will be a 4-year integrated B.Ed degree. All B.Ed programs will run with focus on recent pedagogical skills, teacher-learner collaboration, and creativity. A teacher should be enriched with Indian tradition, values, ethics, as well as expert in latest advancement of educational practices. This is the concept of education. Aspect of education, old concept of education, new concept of education. Meaning, instruction, development. Aims, knowledge, development of total personality. Curriculum, subject centered, activities centered. Method, rote memorization, learning by doing project method. Discipline, rigid, self discipline. Examination, essay type test, objective type test, evaluation. Agencies, formal, school, formal and informal both. Teacher, instructor, friend, philosopher and guide. Child, passive recipient. In new concept, active dynamic. School, teaching shops, miniature of the society. Teaching education in USA. The history of teacher education in the USA has evolved over time, reflecting changes in education needs, society, and teaching standards. Early foundations 1600 to 1800s. Colonial period. In the 1600s, education in America was very informal. There were no formal teacher training programs. Most teachers were men, often ministers who taught basic reading, writing, and religion in small community schools. 1800s. As the country grew, education became more organized. The first public schools were established and the need for trained teacher became clear. In 1823, Reverend Samuel Hall founded the first teacher training school in Concord, Vermont. These schools were called normal schools. Normal schools, mid 80s to early 90s. Normal schools expansion. By the mid 80s, more normal schools were founded to prepare teachers, especially for elementary education. These schools focused on teaching methods, pedagogy, classroom management, and child development. Women as teachers. During this time, teaching became one of the few careers available to women. Normal schools helped women enter the profession in large numbers. State control. States started to take control of education, creating certification requirement for teachers through standard variety through standard varied widely. Number 3, university based teacher education, early 1900. Growth of universities. In the early 1900s, teacher education moved to universities and colleges. Normal schools either became part of universities or evolved into teacher colleges. This shift provided more rigorous academic training for teachers. John Dewey's influence. Educational reformer John Dewey played a big role in shaping modern teacher education. He believed in learning by doing and pushed for more practical training for teachers, emphasizing critical thinking and problem solving in education. Number 4, standardization and professionalism. In mid 1900s, certification standard. State began standardizing teacher certification requirements, ensuring that all teachers had formal training. University education programs expanded to include more comprehensive teaching methods and subject specific training. Teacher unions. Organizations like the National Education Association (NEA) advocated for better pay, professional status, and working conditions for teachers. Number 5, diversity and federal involvement, 1960 to 1990s. Civil rights era. The 1960s and 70s brought a focus on diversity and equality in education. Teacher training programs began to emphasize culturally responsive teaching and inclusion. Federal programs. The government started playing a larger role in education with programs like Head Start 1965 and Title I funding, which supported teacher training for schools in low income areas. Alternative certifications. In the 80s and 90s, alternative certification programs were introduced, allowing people who did not study education to become teacher through shorter training programs. These programs aimed to address teacher shortages. Number 6, modern developments, 2000s to present. Higher standards. In recent decades, teacher education programs have become more rigorous with a focus on improving teaching quality. Some states require teachers to earn a master's degree with few years of beginning their career. Accountability and testing. There has been more emphasis on teacher accountability and standardized testing, with teachers needing to pass certification exams like the Praxis Praxis. Many states also tie teacher evaluation to student performance. Teacher and innovation. Technology and innovation. With the rise of digital technology, teacher education now includes training on integrating technology in the classroom. Online education and virtual classroom have become become more common. Number 2, structure. The structure of teacher education in the USA consists of several stages, include academic coursework, certifications, and professional development. It varies somewhat by state, but general process including the following: undergraduate education, bachelor's degree in education or related field. Aspiring teachers generally begin with bachelor's degree in education or in subject area such as English, science, or mathematics for secondary teachers. Some universities offer a dual degree combining content area and education. Teacher Preparation Program (TPP). Along with subject knowledge, teacher candidate take courses focused on pedagogy, child development, and classroom management. Field work and practicum. Candidates engage in field experiences, observing or assisting in classrooms, usually as part of their coursework. Student teaching. Supervised student teaching. The most important component of a teacher preparation, student teaching involves working full time in classroom under the guidance of a certified teacher. This period usually lasts several months and provide practical experience. Certification and licensing. Certification exam. Most states require prospective teacher to pass certification exams, which typically include subject matter test and pedagogy test. For example, PRAXIS, Praxis or State Specific Exam, SSE. Background checks. States typically require fingerprinting and criminal background check. State licensing requirements. Every state has specific licensing requirements, including coursework, field experiences, and exams. Some states offer provisional or alternative certifications, allowing people for non education fields to become teachers. Number 4, graduate education and continuing education. Master's degree optional. Some states required a teacher to earn a master's degree with few years of starting to teach. A master's in education or specific subject, for example, mathematics education, helps teachers deepen their knowledge and may lead to higher pay. Professional development. Teachers are often required to complete continuing education credits throughout their career to maintain certification and stay current with new teacher training methods. Technology and education policies. Number 5, alternative routes to certification. Alternative certification programs. Many states offered alternative routes to certification for career changers who have a bachelor degree in non-education fields. These programs often allow individuals to teach while completing their education coursework. Teach for America or other program. Some programs allow individuals to begin teaching in high need areas while they complete credentialing requirements. Number 6, National Board Certification Optional NBC. National Board for Professional Teaching Standards NBPTS. Teachers can pursue advanced certification through NBPTS, which is voluntary and rigorous process. It is designed to recognize highly effective teaching practices and often leads to increased compensation. Number 7, ongoing professional development OPD. Workshops in service training. Schools often require teachers to participate in ongoing professional development. These opportunities help teachers improve skills and stay current with education trends. Mentoring and coaching. New teachers may be paired with mentors and instructional coaches to provide support during the early years of teaching. Number 8, post-secondary education for college level teaching. Master's or doctoral degrees. College and university level teaching generally requires at least master degree and many positions requires PhD in the subject area. Professors in education departments often have advanced degrees in education fields. Number 3, education system. The education system of the United States is decentralized, meaning that it is governed primarily at the state and local levels, with some federal oversight and support. It is composed of several key stages, each designed to promote learning and personal development. The system emphasizes academic achievement, civic responsibility, and prepares students for higher education or the workforce. Structure of the system: pre kindergarten, pre K. Early childhood education is optional and typically for children aged 3 to 5. It focuses on basic social and cognitive development through play based learning. Some states and localities offer universal pre kindergarten while others may not. K 12 education. The compulsory education system includes kindergarten through 12th grade. It is divided into elementary school K5, emphasis on foundational skills in reading, writing, mathematics, and basic science. Middle school 6 to 8, focus on intermediate skills and introduction of more specialized subject like history, life sciences, and algebra. High school 9 to 12, a broader curriculum including advanced subjects like curriculars, physics, and world history, as well as elective and vocational education. The high school diploma is a requirement for college admission or entry into the workforce. Higher education. Community colleges, 2 year institutions that provide associate degrees, certificates, and pathways to 4 year universities. They are also an affordable option for many students. 4 year college and universities offer bachelor degrees, undergraduate education, and varied of majors in arts, success, business, and more. Sorry, science, business, and more. These institutions can be public or private. Graduate and professional schools. After earning a bachelor's degree, student can pursue master's or doctoral degrees, graduate education in specialized fields. Professional schools such as law, medicine, or business provide advanced degrees, for example, JD, MD, MBA, etc. Number three, funding. The US education system is funded by a mix of local, state, and federal funds, with local property taxes contributing significantly to K 11 education. This leads to variation in resources and quality between wealthier and poor districts, often resulting in education inequalities. The federal education the federal government plays a limited but crucial role through programs like Title I, which provides funding for schools in low income areas, and the Individual with Disabilities Education Act IDEA, which supports special education. Curriculum and standards. Curriculum. Decisions about curriculum are mostly made at state and local levels, meaning there is a variation in the subject and standard across different regions. Common Core standards adopted by some states aims to unify educational expectations in areas like math and English. Standardized testing. Students undergo regular assessment, particularly at the end of certain grades. Standardized tests like the SAT or ACT are widely used for colleges admission, although their importance has been decreasing in recent years. Public versus private schools. Public schools operated by government bodies and are tuition free for student. Most students in the US attend public schools. Private schools funded through tuition, donations, and private sources. They may have religious affiliation or specific educational philosophies such as Montessori or Waldorf education. Charter school. Publicly funded but privately operated schools, they have more flexibility in terms of curriculum and operation compared to traditional public schools, often aiming to innovate in education. Special education. The US provides for students with disabilities under the Individual under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act IDEA, which ensure that children with special needs receive free and appropriate education tailored to their requirement. This includes individualized education plans, IEPs, and access to special resources. Challenges and reforms. Educational inequality. Socioeconomic disparities affect the quality of education, with schools in wealthier areas often better funded than those of poorer districts. Racial and income achievement gaps are significant ongoing concern. School choice. Controversy exists over school vouchers, which allow public funds to be used for private schooling, and the expansion of charter school, which some argues diverts resources from traditional public schools. Teacher shortages. Many regions face shortages of qualified teachers, especially in critical areas like special education, STEM, and rural districts. Technology and online learning. The use of technology in the classroom has increased dramatically, particularly since the COVID 19 pandemic, leading to a new model of hybrid and online education. In conclusion, the US education system is diverse and complex, characterized by local control and variability in quality and resources. It provides multiple pathways for students from early education through higher education, but also faces significant challenges in achieving equity and consistency across regions. Topic: Education system in UK. The demand for training and equipping qualified teachers in teacher education decides the UK school education system across four devolved nations, including England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Qualified teaching in schools is integral to that goal, with maintaining education standards critically to teacher education. Overview of the education system. There are four individual system of there are four individual system for the UK education region: England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland. Both have a curriculum and system of training teachers, through some of them retain the same objectives set, for example, training the teachers to cater for learners' need and in general contribute towards curriculum development. The training of teachers is standardized in all the areas through different bodies of education that are set to train students in an undertaking that might be both theoretical and classroom practical experiences. Number two, prerequisites in ITT, initial teacher training and education. There, Therefore, teacher education in UK generally encompasses blend of both academic study as well as practical teaching experience. England, qualified teacher status QTS. To become a teacher in England, one has to get QTS, and this can be done through several routes, including undergraduate route. One can complete Bachelor of Education BEd or degree in any subject and then pursue a postgraduate certificate in education PGCE. School school centered School centered initial teacher training. School district enable an individual to train in school and get QTS. Teach first. It is a 2-year leadership development program through which one teaches through which one teaches while working toward QTS and PGCE. Teacher apprenticeship. Teacher apprenticeship is provided by some schools, leading to practical training, practical learning and study. Teacher standard. These are professional standards by the Department for Education set. Teaching standards include aspects such as classroom management, planning, and delivering lessons for effective teaching. Scotland Professional Graduate Diploma in Education PGDE. This is the standard route to teaching for candidates with degree. For all candidates, Scotland requires completion of either the PDGE or an integrated undergraduate degree. General Teaching Council for Scotland GTCS, the body responsible for teacher training, ensuring all teachers across Scotland meet national standard for registration. Continuous Professional Development CPD. Teachers in Scotland have to continuously update their skill through CPD with an aim to continuous improvement in practices and responsive to educational challenges. Wales Qualified Teacher Status QTS. Just like in England, aspiring teachers need to get QTS, which is achieving through either PGCE or undergraduate degree education. Education Workforce Council EWC. EWC regulates teacher education and standards. New initiative under teacher education in Wales, including literacy, numeracy, and digital competency. Welsh language proficiencies. Teachers in Wales are often expected to be competent in Welsh language, depending on the school which they teach. Northern Ireland. Postgraduate Certificate in Education PGCE. This is the most common route to teaching, as it is elsewhere in the rest of the UK. Theory and practice are highly developed within Northern Ireland. General Teaching Council for Northern Ireland GTCNI. GTCNI oversees the professional standards of teachers and as such checks that anyone practicing in the profession has met the requirement for registration. Alternative routes to teaching. There are many alternative entry routes into teaching from people who might not through the additional university routes across the UK. These include school centered initial teacher training in England, the practice based teach first in both in England and Wales. This is actually means to capture top graduate talent and places them in challenging schools. Thus, these alternative routes create multiple opportunities for career changers and those who are preferred to learn by doing within the school context. Continuing professional development CPD. After qualification as a teacher, professional development does not stop in the UK. Actually, the certain current teaching methods, curriculum changes, and technological changes in teaching professional development is encouraged, and in some cases insisted on. Focus mainly has been set on teaching excellence, meeting student diversity needs, and enhancing knowledge in the subject area. Professional standard and accreditation. Professional standards. The teacher working in the UK are professionally required to abide the standards of their respective regions. These standards outline the knowledge, skills, and attitudes that a teacher needed to demonstrate in his practice. Accrediting bodies. Some of accrediting bodies that oversee the teacher training process, including Teacher Regulatory Agency (TRA), is responsible in England. General Teaching Council for Scotland, Educational Workforce Council in Wales, General Teaching Council for Northern Ireland. Major issues in education, recruitment and retention. The UK always facing issues for recruiting and retaining its uh, retaining its teaching community, especially in mathematics and science. Workload and well being. Teachers have shown a lot of concern and stress related to their workload, which results in declining percentage of retention and demand adjustment to the system of support offered the teacher. Teacher preparation to diverse classroom. The exploring demand is increasingly founding that address highly diversified classroom need with students coming from variety of culture, linguistic, or socioeconomic backgrounds. Thus, the teacher preparation programs are continuously changing to meet these demands. New reforms and initiative. There has been a thrust across the UK get digital learning and modern pedagogical approaches integrated into training curricula for teachers. The COVID-19 pandemic was very practical driver for much training institutions will do to equip teachers with online and blended learning skills. There is also emphasis on mental health and well-being, not just pupils but also the staff. Many new training programs for teachers have modules on emotional resilience as well as managing student mental health issues. Conclusion. Teachers' education in the UK remain a core underpinning of maintaining high standards of education. Although each of the four nations has its approach toward the development of teacher education, common goals present a united position regarding the preparation of their teacher in terms of the skills and knowledge required so that experience to promote students achievement could be imparted. Continuing professional development with professional standards remain to center to ensure that the teacher adapt to changing needs of the education system. These are the governance comparison fact of UK and Pakistan teacher education. Governance of teacher education develops system with the distinct regulatory bodies of each region: England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland. While in Pakistan centralized at federal level with some provincial variation under HEC and provincial education departments. Teacher training qualification. England QTS via PGCE or School Direct, Scotland PGDE or B8, Wales PGCE, Northern Ireland PGCE QTS is mandatory, while in Pakistan B8 Bachelor of Education and M8 Master of Education are common qualification. No formal teacher status certificate, but teaching degrees are recognized by institutions. Regulatory bodies. In England, Teaching Regulation Authority (TRA), Scotland, General Teaching Council for Scotland (GTCS), Wales, Educational Workforce Council (EWC), Northern Ireland, General Teaching Council for Northern Ireland (GTCNI), while in Pakistan, HEC Higher Education Commission regulates teacher education at the university level. Provincial bodies oversees teacher training at lower levels. Routes to becoming a teacher. Various routes such as undergraduate program B8 and postgraduate program PGCE, school-based training, school direct, teach first, and apprenticeship. Mostly in Pakistan, mostly undergraduate programs like B8 and post programs like M8. Teacher training colleges also offer short courses for primary and secondary teachers. Curriculum for teacher training. Strong emphasis in UK, strong emphasis on pedagogical practical experiences, school placement, subject knowledge, and professional standard. While in Pakistan, focus on pedagogy, subject knowledge, and practical training, but less emphasis on modern educational trends like digital learning or blended teaching. Alternative pathways. Alternative routes like Teach First leadership programs, School Direct, on the job training, and teacher apprenticeship exist. In Pakistan, limited alternative pathways, mostly traditional university or college routes to become teachers. Some districts' education options are available through Allama Iqbal Open University. Continue professional development. Mandatory in England, in UK, mandatory and structured CPD programs are required. Teacher must be meet professional standards throughout their career. In Pakistan, CPD is not mandatory at all level. It exists in some areas, but it is largely underdeveloped. But is largely underdeveloped, with teacher often not provided opportunities for CPD. Professional standards. Teacher must adhere to a professional standard defined by the region's teaching council or regulatory body.